everyone. ESGI, it just keeps getting better. That's what this session is all about. And I really hope by the end of it you can see how ESGI can help you save 400 hours. Let's get started. I'm Rochelle. I'm a former school site administrator, but I work for ESGI, and I'm super happy to be with you today. What I really would like is for us to be live together at a conference, but this is the next best thing. We find out from teachers when we're out on the road that teachers love ESGI, but they often ask us, what's new and how can I use ESGI better? So I'm going to cover those two things today, but just for you to get to know ESGI a little better, I just want to let you know that ESGI is teacher-led progress monitoring. You can use it at school or at home. We know we're all in different situations teaching right now. So we just want to let you know you can use it anywhere. And ESGI helps you with gap analysis tests, at home with video conferencing, at school with small groups, you name it, we can help you out. Now, what's new? Home screen shortcuts. We're going to go over that today, how to add tests, how to use that student screen, bingo, who doesn't love bingo, and new single score tests. We're also going to talk about some time savers, which we'll cover in just a minute. So I'm going to bring my screen in, and we're going to talk about what's new with ESGI. Okay, what's new with ESGI? Well, quite a few new things. You notice if you've used ESGI in the past, we've got an updated look this year. It looks great with these great tiles on the home page. But when you're on the home page, I really wanted to point out to you how easy it is to add tests. It's right down here, clicking Add Tests. Super easy. If you want to add something to the tab that you have selected here, in this case it's KELA, you simply add the test right here. Now, at this point, you probably want to search for some tests to add. Now, this is a KELA, so maybe we want to add a rhyming test. I can put rhyming in the search, and it pulls up all the rhyming tests. Now, look at all the rhyming tests we have. You probably want to preview these in the Test Explorer first to make sure it's exactly the one you're looking for. So you can pick one of these, add it to your home screen just by clicking it and clicking Done. So click one or more than one, and add it to your home screen. It'll show up right here. And then you can keep adding more if you'd like to right here, and keep going. Now, another thing that's brand new, people want to know about this student screen. Now, it used to be up here in these bars where you click it and you can find the student screen, but now it's right here. Let's talk about what student screen is. Let's click it, and I'll show you what it is. If you are doing remote learning and you want the student to use their iPad in order to see the items in ESGI, we can link your computer with that student's device. It can be a computer, it can be an iPad, it can be anything that can go to the internet site, esgiss.com. Now, you're going to instruct the family to go there, and what they're going to see is a screen that looks like this on their iPad. Now, they're going to be waiting for a code from you, and so what you're going to do is click the Get Code. Now, make sure you already have done your Zoom call. You're already set up, ready to go with them. You can see the student on the camera, and then you click Get Code. Now, here's a code right here that will expire in 5 minutes for security purposes. So the child has 5 minutes to enter this code into their iPad. So let me show you what it looks like. Or again, it can be any device. We say iPad because that's what most kids probably have. And then we join the session. Now, it says connected and waiting to start. And so you're going to then choose that student. Here, let's say it's Michael. You're going to choose a rhyming test, and it will show this picture of a sock here. And guess what? It shows that same picture over here on Michael's. So the cool thing is it links simultaneously so that you can run the test with Michael. Here's the sock right here, and he only sees that. Now, he'll listen to your directions, and you will say, what word rhymes with sock? And you're going to click yes or no, but Michael's never going to see the yes and no buttons because all he sees is this. This is all he sees. This is his screen. So you can see that it updates simultaneously on both, and you can take as many notes as you want with the student screen. The child's never going to see the yes and no buttons. So that's called the student screen, linking two devices together. The neat thing about it is once you have Michael waiting for you to start a test, you could do multiple tests with that child without getting a new code. It'll stay linked until you choose another child, and then you'll need to have another code. So that's the student screen. Teachers are finding it super helpful for remote learning. When kids are at home, you can link your devices, and the benefit of that is they are not seeing that yes and no buttons being clicked, and so that's a really big benefit. So now it's found right here on the home screen as well as add a test. So two new things, two time savers for you to help you save 400 hours. Now let's go back and look at some of the other things. Okay, look at that. We got add test to the home screen, use that student screen for linked devices, but let's now talk about bingo. Who doesn't love bingo? Let's show my screen and show you how to set up bingo for your class or for your students at home. Here is bingo right here in the reports section. It's up here grouped together with the other parent reports. We've got the parent letter and the flashcards, which you're probably familiar with already. But here's the new one, bingo. So when you click on that, it's going to instruct you on how to set up a bingo game. Now the neat thing is our developers have really spent some time on making a bingo game. It's really going to be very slick for you to use in the classroom or at home. So what you're seeing on the first page here are some instructions or some features about the bingo game. And when you click Let's Begin, it gets started. So here it says who will be playing. Now it auto-selects all your kids because we want you to be able to play this in class if you want to with all your kids. However, if you deselect the select all, then you can go through and just choose one of the students. So let's say our friend Emma here is going to be playing the bingo game, and you could pick more than one if you want, and then you go to the next screen. Here, you choose which subject tab and which tests will appear on the bingo card. So I have KELA selected here, and you can see the tests underneath, or I could pick math, and I can have a bingo card with math, whichever one of these tabs you'd like. Next screen. Here we discuss what type of bingo card size you want, okay? So depending on your needs, this one's a 5 by 5, so 5 across, 5 down, of course. We've got a 3 by 3. You can print one or multiples on a page if you'd like. I'm going to stick with the 5 by 5. I like that. Notice it has that free space in the middle. It looks just like a bingo card. And you can choose the difficulty. So this will take the items that the child missed on the assessments and determine what goes on the bingo card. Now you can be easy, which is an easy card, of course. It's going to mix together a few maybe of ones they missed, but mostly ones that they got correct. Or medium is a little bit harder, of course, and then harder will be just the ones that they missed, which will be more difficult. So you choose that, and then you go to the next screen. We're almost done. You decide, this is my favorite part, where is this game going to be played? Is it going to be played in the classroom or at the student's home? And the neat thing about this is you can say, how many people will play at home? Well, there's 4 people in Emma's family, so let's put 4 here, and it will make one unique card for each person. How fun is that? So total 5 cards are going to be printed, and then we just download it. Now, when you download it, you're going to be able to send this home via email if you'd like because it's a PDF. And I'll open that for you so you can see what it looks like. The neat thing about it is, like I said, they thought of everything. Look at this page. This is the call sheet because you know you want to keep track of which ones that you called out. So you can mark them off when you call them. And then here is Emma's bingo card, personalized for Emma. And remember, we printed out 4 for Emma's family. So they're all unique so they can trade cards and keep playing as a family. And again, it's a PDF, so send it home to your parents. How slick is that? Everybody loves bingo. And so go ahead and try out the ESGI bingo game. All right, next on our new list are these new single score tests to test social emotional learning. How cool is that? We know it's a really hot topic right now, but ESGI has updated our tests to be single score tests. And let me show you what I mean by that. If you've used them in the past, you'll see what an improvement these new single score tests are. So I'm here in the Test Explorer, right up here at the top. And here in our Noted Series section, you can see MTSS SEL tests. Once you click on that, you're going to get 24 results showing single score tests aligned to the MTSS framework. So the first thing you'd want to do here is preview the test. Now, this is a one-question test. You are going to use it much like you would do a rubric, 4, 3, 2, or 1. And you can see right here on the screen, 4 means all of the time, 3 means most of the time, 2 means some of the time, and 1 means rarely. So you're going to observe the child in the area of patience. And then on this screen right here, it really indicates what you're looking for. Do they wait their turn? Do they stand in line? Do they have patience when they learn something new? And do they have patience during a challenging activity? You're going to make that determination about the child when you're observing them, and you're going to then mark the highest level. Is it a 4, 3, 2, or 1? And you're simply going to enter that score into this test. So if you like these tests, all you need to do is add them to your home screen for free by clicking the Add Test button. Choose the subject tab where you'd like them to be and put them in. Back on the home screen, when you go to that subject tab, and you noticed I put it in weekly, you will find that test right there. So now all they do is choose a student, click the test button, and start the test. Here's where I enter the score. Maybe Michael gets a 4 for that one. I can take notes and save it. Here he scored 4 out of 4, 100%. That's how easy it is to find the new MTSS SEL single score tests right here in the Test Explorer under the Noted Series in the M's for MTSS, right there. I hope you find those super helpful, the new single score SEL tests. Okay, let's look at time savers. This is something that teachers come up to us when we're live at a conference and we're in our booth. We love interacting with teachers, and they'll say to us, you know, I don't think I'm really using my ESGI to its fullest potential. And so we're able to show them these time savers. The Auto Test Creator, making their own subject tabs, color coding tests, and of course, the parent conferencer to schedule parent conferences. So let's get started with the Auto Test Creator. I sure hope you've used it before because it's super helpful. Okay, we're in the Test Explorer again because this is where you're going to find everything related to tests, including the Auto Test Creator. So what this is going to do is save you a ton of time creating your own custom tests in ESGI. It's found right here on the right-hand side, the Auto Test Creator. And you can see the description says, quickly create a test using our Auto Create tool. So we're going to click on it. And then I want you to really think about all the things you use a test for that's like a list, vocabulary lists, sight word lists, multiplication lists, any kind of math problems really. But as long as you have it stored as a list on your computer, you can put it into ESGI super easily. It'll make a test for you. So let me give you an example. Let's say that this sight word test is my list R, for instance. Now, test description is read, list, R words. Test directions are what I'm going to say to the child. So I'm going to say, read this word. This is an English language arts test. I can choose the font if I want, but it pre-populates there. And then I get to enter my questions here. Now, the neat thing about this is I can actually go to a Word document that I have saved on my computer. Let's say this is my list R sight words, for instance. I can take this list. I can do Control-C on my keyboard, come to ESGI, do Control V, and guess what? All my sight words are right there as a list. Be thinking multiplication tables, the alphabet, 1 to 100. If you have all that stored on your computer, you can just put it right here by doing copy paste as I did. So now I'm going to save and close, and this is going to make my sight word list R test. Now I can add it later to my subject tab, or for a time saver, I can say, you know what, this is my first grade sight word list R. I'm going to go ahead and add it to my subject tab right now, and then it's there and ready to go. Now the neat thing about that is I can go back to my home screen and I can totally see that sight word list was just added right here under first grade sight words. There's my list R that I just made. So now all I have to do is click a child's name, click test, and get started with that test. How neat is that? Auto Test Creator, really great handy tool. Right in the Test Explorer, you can then do any kind of test that quickly makes a test from a list that you already have on your computer. So that's a huge time saver for you. All right, another time saver, make subject tabs. Now you know that ESGI already comes with some subject tabs that has sample tests underneath. But did you know that you can make subject tabs for any purpose that you have? Let me show you how. Back on my home screen, you can see that I have many subject tabs for a lot of different reasons. When I first started, I had this K ELA and K Math because I was a kindergarten teacher. And these are sample tests that ESGI has provided for you. Now you can keep the ones that we have on there as samples and use them, or you can add more tests. You can actually take tests off of there. If you want to remove a test from a subject tab, you can do that using these 3 buttons right here, 3 dots I guess they would be. And you don't have to worry about when you remove something that has data, because that data will be saved. So even though you're removing it from this subject tab, it does not delete the data. Here's my math one, and you can see I haven't used these yet, but I can just add more if I want, or take some out. But the neat thing about ESGI is you can add as many subject tabs as you want. And the reason you want to make subject tabs is when you have that clicked, that's what prints on the reports over here on the side. So any data that you have underneath that tab will show up over here. So let me give you an example of that. Now you saw earlier that I had one called weekly. Let me tell you why that's important. As a teacher, I liked to give weekly reports to my families about the things we were learning in class that week. So I could make a weekly tab in my ESGI, and then when I run the parent letter, the flashcards, the bingo, any of these reports over here, it's just going to report on these 4 tests right here. So you can see this one has data. I can easily test Michael on this one. You can see this one's a math problem. And then be able to report to Michael's family about these different things. Now notice, some of them are math, some of them are ELA. They can be mix and matched underneath a tab, no problem whatsoever. A lot of times we get people asking us, how do I get all the data from my K ELA and my K Math together to print on one parent letter? Well, the answer is make your own tab. So when you have your tab here, and it's easy to make one, you just click right here. And you can call it whatever you want. If this is your Unit 3, maybe for math, you can click on that, add some tests here. Maybe you're teaching money. You can add a money test. We have a lot of money tests here. Choose one, put it on, and then keep adding tests to your Unit 3. Whatever you're going to teach in Unit 3, assess your students, and then print the reports. So let's go back to the weekly here. When I click on a parent letter, it's going to indicate that 4 different test data is going to show up on this parent letter. Now I haven't assessed Michael in these yet, but once I do, all 4 of these will show up on the parent letter. So here's this test, and I will continue to add more tests here, and it will all print on one parent letter. So if you're interested in getting all your data in one place, go ahead and make a subject tab just for that purpose, and then you can print reports. Now the neat thing about it is if I have this first grade add and subtract within 20 test here, and I also have it under my K Math tab, it will update simultaneously in both places. And so it's kind of like putting it in two different places to run specific reports, but the data is the same. So when you get that test, it'll update. And that's what's neat about subject tabs. You can use them on a weekly basis, you can use them on a daily basis, and then like this weekly one, for instance, what I would do is remove that test this week, add a new test next week, and continue to update my weekly tab for parents and run reports every week. So that's just an idea that's a huge time saver for you, hopefully, and it's making your own subject tab. Now let's talk about color coding tests. I love the fact that you can customize ESGI in a lot of different ways, including color coding. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that really love to color code things so that it's very easy to indicate maybe what subject it is. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, so color coding tests can only be done for tests for which you are the author. Okay, so I've created this one with my initials and it says compare. It has an orange background on the home page right now. But maybe I want to make all my tests a different color so that it can indicate maybe this is for my beginning of the year and I'm going to make those all purple. And then the middle of the year, they're all going to be yellow. And then the end of the year, they're all going to be blue, maybe. And so what I do here, because I've already created this test, is I'm just going to edit it here. And then you can see this little orangey peachy background here is the color that's set for the home screen. I can change that. I just click on it and I can choose any color right here. So here's my purple. I can save and close it. And then it's going to change for this test. Now, one thing about ESGI is we require a test description. You can see a little star right there, and that's fairly new. So if you create any tests, it's going to ask you for a test description. So this one's going to be something to remind me about this test is compare sets, let's say. Now I have everything else. I've got the grade level, subject tabs, and so on. Save it. Now look at how it turned to purple. I just love that because if I glance at that, I'm going to know that's a beginning of the year test because it's purple. Now you can, again, edit any that you've made yourself by clicking these dots here, or when you're starting from a brand new test creation, it is one of the things that you can do when you create a new test is choose that color right here. And you can even do more colors than are showing up here with a custom color right here. Okay, so just know that you can change them. If you want to change one that's already on your home screen and you're not the author, you could make a copy of it, but the data won't transfer. So you make a copy of any test and you can change it. Then you're the author. So if you don't know about copying tests, I'm not going to cover it today in this session. However, the copy test feature is a huge time saver in ESGI. So you don't have to start from scratch by going to the Test Explorer and creating a new test. You can actually just make a copy of any test that you find in ESGI. So that's another thing for you to do a little homework if you want about copy test feature. All right, just a few more minutes. The parent conference are a huge time saver. If it's getting close to parent conference time, as it is in my daughter's class, it would be really helpful to use ESGI to schedule your parent conferences. Let's find out how. You may or may not have ever clicked on the Parent Conferencer right here. The Parent Conferencer is super handy for scheduling parent conferences and sending out letters to parents indicating when the conference is. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was in the classroom as a teacher, it took me a really long time to handwrite all of those parent letters and send them home to the parents because I had a big class. And sometimes, you know, you'd make mistakes and you'd put like Tuesday, October 21st, and it was really Tuesday, October 20th, and the parent would say, is it really Tuesday or is it Wednesday? So this will take all of that error out because ESGI is going to do it for you. Now the neat thing here is you get to set your days and times. I've already added the 21st and the 22nd here, but it's easy to add the dates just by picking from the calendar. So you just pick from the calendar, here's the 23rd, and then keep going for your whole conference week. And then you can add the times here. You can see I already have some here. Maybe I'm going to skip some times. Maybe it's lunchtime, so I want to make it later on. put those there. Then once I have all the days and times set on my grid, then it's time to schedule the students. Now you notice Maggie here has already been scheduled on this part of the grid. So we just take the students here, take their name, and put it right into the grid. How easy is that? And then it checks off that Maria has already been scheduled. So I'm going to just take my students' names and put them right here, and then they're all set. How neat is that? And then the neat thing about it is if I click on a student's name, you can see some details about the conference. You can tell which room it's in. Maybe this child, I want to change it because, you know, I'm going to need to meet in the office with this family. Now, these are the languages for the template letter. So if you want English, you can do it that, or Spanish or other here. You can also change the length of the conference and so on, and then you confirm it. You can print parent letters, which are so neat to be able to see the parent letters. To see the parent letters, just download them over here. You might want to send home all the invitations at one time, so you can download the invitations here, and then you can print them out or send them home with a PDF right here. Here's my child's name. It's got the parent conference. Notice it shows exactly the day and time and how long it's going to be. You can change what it says at the very top too if you don't want it to say our standard template. You can modify it. And then you can cut off the bottom, send it home. Yes, I will meet with you at this time, or no, I cannot meet at this time. Here's 3 times and days that work better for me. And notice it has all the children's names right here, and you can just print them out as a batch, and it's a PDF. Now, you know what's going to happen. They're all going to run in the next day. Here's my letter. My parent can't make it. So you can just line them up next to you at the computer. You can say, okay, Maria's mom can't make this time. How about I'm going to put Maria's time as a different time and a different day, and just simply fix it. Maria, you're now going to be here, and then print that letter again. And then there's also reminders, and you can print the grid for the office. And so if you want to print any of that stuff over here, you've got the whole schedule that you can send to the office, because you know what happens. The parent calls and says, I forgot my conference time. So you can print that whole grid there, conference invitations, or a conference reminder. So the day before, you can print out just a little letter that says, don't forget, we have a parent conference coming. And so a neat thing about this too is if you're doing Zoom conferences this year, you can actually modify it and just have a Zoom as the location right here. All right, parent conferencer, hopefully it saves you a ton of time. All right, I'm glad you spent some time with me today to learn about new things in ESGI, time savers. And if you want to know more, of course, you should visit our YouTube channel. We have a great playlist that you can get started with. There's lots of extra stuff on there that you can look at too. So go to ESGI Software on YouTube and check it out. We also have an online learning module. When you first get started with ESGI, you can take that module, and if you didn't take it right when you started, you can always find it in the What's New section on the side where you click on the side. You can visit our support page at any time, and you can definitely live chat with our customer support team. They're awesome. So shout out to the customer support team. If you've ever had any interaction with them, you know that they are so awesome. So you can live chat because we know you can't always just call us up. Thank you so much. I sure hope that ESGI does save you 400 hours this year.